This is music, and this is a cesspool of first impressions. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. This time I have a handful of CDs to talk about, so let's get down to business. First, some death metal here. Cesspool of Corruption. This is Requiems of the Ignominious. So there you go. And another Cesspool of Corruption release, Eradicating the Subservient. So when I picked these two up, I thought it would be HM2 or HM2 adjacent death metal at least, and I think I just went by the name. Cesspool of Corruption has a bit of crusty, punky feel to it, but this is technical, brutal death metal, but it's not ridiculously brutal. It's not like slam, and it's not ridiculously technical. It's more like sort of like modern death metal with some old school elements. With a high level of musicianship and quite brutal edge. That's how I would describe it. Lots of blast beats. It's not just blast beats, but lots of blast beats. Some of them are kind of Mike Smith style blast beats, which I think is refreshing. You do have lots of cool riffs as well, and every song is a musical journey. By the way, don't worry, I do have the Digipack stored safely somewhere else for this one. Anyways, so very enjoyable. I really like it. I like how you have riffs, you have brutal stuff, blast beats, you have some melodic parts popping up every now and then, which I really enjoy. The guitar solos they kind of remind me of, back in the day when you would have, typically the death metal guitar solos would be like whammy bar madness and shredding and all that stuff, and it would be cool. But then occasionally you would have a guitarist like Ralph Santalla, for example, who would do really melodic guitar solos on top of death metal madness, and that's what you kind of get with the guitar solos here, which I really appreciate. So this is great stuff. I get a bit of an influence from Suffocation here, a bit of an influence from Death. It reminds me a little bit of Obscura too, but it's not as technical as Obscura. I even get a bit of early Cynic on here. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So this is very enjoyable. I really like these two. I think this one here has a bit of an edge just because there's a little bit more emphasis on riffs and a little bit more melody stuff going on to my ears, but they're both great. So I really enjoy these. Definitely worth checking out if you like your death metal. Now, something quite different. Catharsis by Mari. So Mari probably was the drummer of Mari², and she was known for making everything look easy, because no matter how difficult the drumming stuff she does is, she has this zen smile. Just watch some of her YouTube videos. So this is her solo album after Mari², probably folded for good. This is kind of romantic power metal, I think is fair to say, without being super cheesy. The only song that doesn't really appeal to me is the last one, Mirror of the Heart. That's a ballad. The rest of them I think are pretty cool. You have some up-tempo stuff. You have some Halloween-esque kind of stuff. Great drumming, of course. Nice work on the other instruments, the drums. Sorry, not the drum. Yeah, the drums, of course, but I'm thinking of the bass and the guitar. You got some keyboards and synth stuff too. There's a symphonic edge to some of the music, and it works very well. It's not too much for me. Great melodic sensibility. The songs are very well put together. It's kind of epic. A little bit progressive in places too. So I think this is a very enjoyable album. She did a great job on this. I think she does the singing too, and it's a singing style that I just have to get used to. Let's put it like that. She can sing for sure, but it's just I'm not used to people singing like that. So I have to give it some more spins to get used to the singing. But it's not bad. 'Cause there's some pretty cool vocal melodies on here actually, like the big sing along, catchy, larger than life vocal melodies that you get in a lot of Japanese power metal, and in a lot of old school European power metal too. So this is very enjoyable. You have some other genres as well. It's Dirty Days, I think, the 6th track. That's kind of a new metal song, riff wise, and it kind of works. I actually kind of like the groovy riffs, but I'm also, full disclosure, the type of riffs that kind of are stereotypically associated with new metal. Before new metal was a thing, a lot of those riffs were part of groove metal, like in the early and mid 90s, right? And we were all over those riffs. We loved them back in the day. Before the new metal bands had to destroy everything, they had to break stuff for us. So that kind of took me back to the pre-new metal days. So very good. I enjoy this. Definitely worth checking out if you like your power metal. From one Mari to another Mari, we have this one here, Mari Hamada. Soar, her latest album at the time of recording, at least. It's from 2023. She is a rock singer legend. She's been going since the early to mid 80s. She started out doing heavy metal and hard rock in the 80s. And then in the 90s, she went into AOR, soft rock, pop rock, and commercial rock. And then eventually she got back into the world of metal. Check out Tokyo Vinyl. JJ from Tokyo Vinyl did an entire video covering her 80s and 90s output. But now she's back into the world of metal. She has released actually a lot of albums before this one that I don't know. They might be hard rock or metal, like in the 2000s and 2010s. I have to check those out. But this one here is freaking awesome. It's modern, progressive power metal, and she's in her 60s, I think, and she sounds amazing. Great songs. Up-tempo, high energy for the most part, progressive without being super self-indulgent. The songs are well composed. The guitar has a very heavy kind of modern guitar tone. This is great stuff. Soaring vocals. She does a great job. This is fantastic. If you like your progressive metal, if you like your modern power metal, not the wimpy sort, but the high energy Japanese sort, and the old school Euro sort, I think you will like this one. And if you enjoy this one here, I'm pretty sure you will enjoy this one here too. If you're into Sin Isomer, you will enjoy this one too. What I'm trying to say is that this is a fantastic prog power metal album. It's power metal. It has your big, larger-than-life vocal lines, but it's not overly cheesy. It's prog metal, but it's not, like I said, overly self-indulgent. It just hits the perfect balance, and you just have high-energy songs, very heavy guitar tone. This is a brilliant album. I really enjoy this. Up last, completely different style again. This is Taunus. Going Nowhere Fast. This is Danish high-octane, high-energy hard rock with a modern sound but an old-school approach. I'm reminded a bit of the Spittin' Cobras, so it's that kind of high-energy, kind of punk-inspired hard rock. So, very sweaty as well, which is a good thing. I mean, you can see what they're going for with the imagery here. This is great stuff. A little bit of Motorhead for sure, like I said, and I don't know if they're influenced by them, but they remind me a bit of the Spitting Cobras. So the high octane, high tempo, punk informed hard rock. All the songs are great. You got some great riffs. A lot of them are almost like old school in a way, but with a modern production. This is the great stuff. And it reminds me of, you know, back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, there was kind of the beginnings of a hard rock scene in Denmark, and had these artists received the same support as the artists in Sweden and in Norway receive, we might have ended up with, you know, Norway black metal, right? Sweden HM2 death metal and melodic death metal, and maybe Denmark would have been hard rock. But sadly, you know, they didn't get the support, which is always the case in Denmark. That's why Denmark is like the little brother when it comes to rock. We have some good bands, but they never get the support. So that's actually quite frustrating. But this is great stuff. If you want your, highway, motorcycle, old 70s, 80s car on the highway, hard rock, and if you like the Spitting Cobras, this is worth checking out. It's really enjoyable. It's good fun. I like it. So there you go. Some pretty good stuff. Some death metal, some power metal, some prog power metal, and some sweaty motorcycle / 70s car / modern hard rock. Thanks for watching.